Welcome to the Athletes in Motion podcast, From Race to Recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Tom, how are you?
I'm fantastic as well. We have Joe Fleenor of Magic Sports joining us this time, so we get to talk to one of our favorite race directors. We're missing Faye. We'll send her our best.
She's the favorite.
She's definitely the favorite. Let's be real, right? But we're super happy to have you guys back on to talk about triathlon and short course racing and all the fun stuff that happens around that. So, first, some business. Thank you guys for lots of comments and thumbs up, stars, all that good stuff. Keep that up. We really appreciate that. That boosts up our standings in the algorithm. We're closing in on that 10,000 download mark. So we're getting there, and we're almost at 100 episodes. We're in the 90s right now. We're 91, 92, I think,
Crazy.
Someplace around that. So we've been doing this for a little bit, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So we appreciate everybody's comments. And keep listening and subscribe if you're watching YouTube, hit the channel. So Joe is one of our favorite race directors, especially here in Middle Tennessee, because Magic Sports has been around for how many years now, Joe?
This will be 41.
This is 41, which doesn't seem like it because both you and Faye are much younger than that. So that's that's crazy.
Wild. It's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. All through Middle Tennessee, plus we've got Kentucky and Alabama putting on some of the great races that are happening. So welcome back to the show, Joe. We appreciate you. You've been on a couple times now, and we love to hear what's actually happening. So how was 2025? What did it look like for you guys? It seemed great. I was at most of the races. It seemed like there was good turnout, all of that. How did it look for the last couple of years, 24, 25? How's it trending? What's new?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. The fact that I'm a repeat guest hopefully is a good sign that
Always
people
good.
actually tune in when I'm on.
You don't get a jacket like SNL, by the way. There's no jacket. So.
We can work on that.
Sorry. No budget.
No budget.
No budget.
More subscribes.
Yes. Yeah.
No, so for real, thank you for having me on. Magic Sports, we had a great year in 2025 coming off of the best year in our company's history in 2024,
Okay.
which is surprising considering, the boom of triathlon in the, 2010-11 timeframe. And then our numbers actually increased in 2024 over that, where a lot of companies and a lot of local independent short course races can't claim that. So we were pretty fortunate to have the year we had 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw numbers, I wouldn't say they dropped off really, but they went back to more of a normal level for us, similar to our 2023, 2022 numbers,
Okay.
which is still very good overall in the grand scheme of, the sport for us here in our region.
Yeah.
So overall, we still, processed roughly 5,500 athletes across, all the different events that we produce.
Nice.
And, roughly half of those in our triathlons we produce were like brand new doing that particular race.
Very cool.
So
Yeah.
we showcased our races to a new audience in many cases.
That's great.
So it was a good year.
Yeah.
Every year is kind of the same kind of numbers like that, where we have roughly 50% of our audience is doing that race for the very first time, no matter what year it is. So that's kind of a common trend we have. And then roughly 20 to 25% of our athletes at every race are doing their very first triathlon ever at that race.
Bringing them into the sport, which is great.
So it's kind of cool.
You think you're going to get a bump? We've got like Triathlon Magazine listed out all the favorite triathlons in all the different areas of the country, and you guys got 3 out of the 4 in southeastern U.S. I mean, that's
That's cool.
That's pretty good. Hopefully, there's a little bump that comes from that because they're legit good races. I mean, the ones that they picked, I'm a little disappointed didn't get 4 out of 4, but 3 out of 4 is a good shot.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah.
So they recognize
and it's races like, River Bluff Triathlon and Mountain Lakes Triathlon. So it's not, what I would consider, the high profile races like Chattanooga. And some of our others that are more grassroots, but have a strong following, and they're just amazing races. So it's pretty cool to see those races honored.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would be the anatomy of a good race? Like when you think, what does that formula look like?
Well, we take pride in a lot of different things. Obviously, we want to have as many racers as possible come out, but not the biggest races aren't always what we consider the best races. But every race, I feel like, of ours has a common thread throughout, regardless of the size. And we pride ourselves on 2 main things. Number one is safety. We put in a lot of time and a lot of energy in making sure that we have a safe course. And that's not just, making sure we have enough cones out there or volunteers. That's making sure that we have all of the various entities responsible for helping us on board and understanding what their role is. So that's everything from the Corps of Engineers to the Coast Guard to the fire department to the police department to the security team, to name it. There's a lot of logistics that go into that. And so we pride ourselves on making sure that we have that piece nailed down better than anybody else in the game. So that's number one. And number two is just creating kind of a sense of fun and relaxation around a high stressful event. So we want it to be very welcoming and showcase ourselves as not this stuffy, rich man's intimidating sport, but it's meant to be showcased as a lifetime sport that's fun and something you can participate in for the rest of your life, kind of as you can kind of come and go, and hopefully you come and go with Magic Sports through your lifetime. So
the one thing I
think you pulled bull off. I'm sorry, Tom. I think you pulled that off both sides perfectly. I think that's you absolutely have the right touch on that. So
I was going to say the thing that I was always impressed with from when I first met you guys, when I first got out here, was the fact that the level of quality didn't change from the small races to the bigger races, right? It's the same. Like you guys, like it's easy when you're consistent that way. It's probably easier to manage that you're not backing off for one and better for another. It's the same level of quality across all the races, regardless of the size. And I think people feel that, and they certainly feel the safety and the welcoming that comes with all of that. So that's pretty awesome. You guys have really, really hit that one.
Yeah.
So that's solid.
Thanks.
For 2026, you've got a new race coming up, swim only.
Only.
How did this come about? Like we're getting the triathletes down there to get their warm-ups, to get more swim training. It's great to have. So tell us about this one. How did this one come about?
And I'm going to be fully transparent on it. It's not something that we were planning for a long time, that this was going to be a part of our new agenda or our new schedule. It sort of popped up on us for a number of reasons. Number one, sadly, we had a race that disappeared from the calendar this year. So that opened up a date where our Montgomery race that we had produced for many years in its first iteration with the Team Magic brand, and then it went away during COVID, and we resurrected that race back in 2024, I think. And so we held it the last 2 years, and lots of different reasons why that race just didn't come back. But regardless, we had that date open, and we had a local person in kind of the Birmingham area that has been talking to us for a couple of years now about trying to bring an event like that to Oak Mountain State Park in Pelham, Alabama, which is where we are. And she's an avid, swim instructor, is very heavily involved with the juniors in that area and showcasing multi-sport to the youth. Cool. And so she's been all over us in a good way about we need more opportunities like this to get them in open water swim. Plus, there's just a lot of, master swim programs out there and tri clubs that just don't really have those opportunities for swim specific racing. So we saw it as an opportunity. We had a date opening. It fit well on the schedule. It wasn't too cold. The water temperature is not too cold. The lake we're very familiar with. We've kind of got all of the foundation already built in the park, so it wasn't a real heavy lift. It's just more of a in some cases it's a new audience for us, where it's not only, we'll get a lot of triathletes, but a lot of the people that do open water swims are not triathletes. And so they're not always a part of our database at this point. So it's taken a little bit of marketing that we don't normally do, which is more, direct outreach to the local master swim programs or the USA Swimming, like things like that we don't normally have to do. So that's sort of how that whole thing came about, and we're excited about it. It's the first and I should say this, we actually did an open water swim last year as part of the World Police and Fire Games that came to Birmingham last year, which is a huge, amazing, cool event that Birmingham got to host last year. And we were hired on to help them manage the open water swim at that venue. So we actually did this event out there for them. And we're like, hey, this is really cool.
That works.
So it all just kind of worked perfectly. And so that's kind of how that event and how it started came about. So we're excited about that. That's on May 2nd.
May 2nd. Yeah. So that's coming up. That's coming up quick. The water temperature is going to be cool, but shouldn't be too bad in Alabama.
It's roughly 70 to 73 degrees.
Really?
Is our guess.
That's not bad at all. That's perfect. That's perfect. Wetsuit legal, so make everybody happy. That'll make the triathletes happy.
No kidding.
They get that. They won't have to worry about, no wetsuits. So that'll be, that's the first question that comes up. And then you've got multiple distances on it. We've got half mile, 1 mile, 2 mile, and 5K.
We have four distances.
Four distances. Yeah. So
hopefully something for everybody.
Yeah.
We even talked about offering even a shorter distance, and we opted not to, but we wanted it to be kind of for everybody, and we feel like the half mile is a
I think
fairly good entry point for people.
Yeah, that's a good spot, and then maybe we get some people that were not triathletes that now get a little bit interested. Maybe they meet a couple of triathletes and they go, "Hey, they're not that bad people. Like maybe we could do one of these. Maybe these guys aren't so bad." I was at an awards triathlon awards thing in San Diego, and Taylor Finney was the guest speaker, and Taylor got up and spoke, and he's great. He's amazing. He's also like 6'8", so he's massive. This young guy just goes, "You know what? You triathletes are pretty cool." I was like, "We should hang sometime." It was almost like he was surprised, and he sat and chatted with everybody afterwards. I was like cracking up. Ever since that, I've been just kind of like, we're not that bad.
Well, you and I were at that Endurance Exchange conference, and Rowdy Gaines was the speaker. And he said something very similar. He was like, I don't really have much to do with triathletes, but you guys are pretty cool.
You guys are pretty cool. It's not bad. Like,
Speaking of pretty cool, let's not gloss over the one other race that you put on, which was the beer mile.
Oh, cool.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes. I'm just curious to know how that fits in the pantheon of
there's more than one
long distance races and chugging beer every.
Thank you for bringing that up. That is.
It's important.
I'm not going to say it's our showcase new event, but it was a new event. And so I've been wanting to do a beer mile forever, and I've been trying to figure out how to where to fit it in, and so there just really hasn't ever been the great course or the great time frame, but we have this St. Patrick's Day run that we do that obviously makes the most sense to kind of incorporate into that. But we never really had a great venue for it because we were always down in Shelby Park, and Shelby Park in Nashville it's not conducive for a beer mile down there. But this year we moved out of Shelby Park to downtown Nashville next to Nissan Stadium, and it's just got kind of a much bigger feel to it with the Nashville backdrop behind you in the stadium. And it's, that setup, you've got an easy little quarter-mile loop you can do up there. So we decided the night before the St. Patrick's Day run to host during Packet Pickup the beer mile. And just for those of you who are unaware of what a beer mile is, you chug a beer, a full beer, and then you run a quarter mile, and you chug a beer and you run a quarter mile. So you're doing this, you're chugging 4 beers and running 4 quarter-mile laps for a total of 1 mile. And we did it as we capped it at 8 men and 8 women. It was an application process.
I thought
so
that was
people
fantastic.
had to submit an application as to why I should choose them for the beer mile.
I'm a fast, heavy drinker.
We had some.
I come from a long line of heavy drinkers.
I'm from Wisconsin.
You're not.
One guy submitted asked for 30 seconds or 45-second long videos. Nothing too intense.
Just have some fun.
One guy submitted a 2.5-minute, well-produced video.
Did he make it?
And he made it. I had to get
there you go. Yeah,
he went over the time frame. It was too good not to. So he made it.
Yeah.
But anyways, we had 8 men, 8 women, and from all different walks of life, one of which was a Nashville City Council person, which is really cool.
That's always cool.
So, there you go.
And we did it in a way, we had a lot of fun with it. I wore a referee jersey. There were very specific rules where if you spilled your beer, you had a time penalty. If you vomited, you had the time penalty. All these various rules.
Good stuff.
Nice.
And
I love it.
Yeah.
How was it? Did you have a track, or you weren't on a track? You were obviously in the parking area?
We were just using kind of a sidewalk area.
There
you go.
In that area. And there's a good little kind of quarter-mile loop
down to one end,
Packet Pickup
back
area.
to the other end, just like swimming, down and back, down and back.
Was there a subcommittee formed on what type of beer should be consumed? Was that because you don't go in there with a dark, brown ale.
No, it's Guinness. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's
I mean, I could have been cruel and I could have done that.
That would have been awful. Oh my
But
God.
you know what? I learned some lessons in this where I chose a very light, Miller Lite, just kind of an easy to drink lager. But the problem was, this was my first year doing it. I didn't realize you don't really need it to be really cold. It's a hard thing to drink when a beer's freezing cold.
Yeah.
So we had it on ice all day long and then just poured it out of the cooler to pour these drinks as they came around their laps. And that was hard. So next year I'll get them a little warmer beforehand.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
Well, I have an idea for a beer sponsor, so we can talk offline. So.
Well, I've always wanted an alcohol sponsor at our races. So if you know anybody.
I do.
Taking sponsors.
By the way, speaking of alcohol, is it okay if I drink alcohol?
Absolutely. We're doing this in the evening. It's after work hours.
This in happy hour.
Beat me to it. So
it
there
is.
you go.
It is there. Kenny on many occasions has had a little imbibing going on.
Look, I've had a day. I needed.
It's the end of the day. We do this in the evenings. It's it works out. It works out really well.
Dealing with the people I have to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
all the time. So what else is new for this year? What's going on? What are your expectations? Now, and I'll jump on to another question after that. So what are your expectations for this year? What are we looking at?
Yeah, there's in terms of racing, there aren't a lot of differences this year. We're just fine-tuning a lot of what we've been doing and making these events bigger and better. So outside of our normal schedule, nothing new. We are involved in an organization called Sports ETA, which is kind of an organization that kind of pairs destinations with events or rights holders of events. And so it's an opportunity for us to see, is there opportunity for growth for Magic Sports outside of our current region? So it's something new for us that we're doing.
Cool.
As all of, pretty much every one of our events we do, we have a really strong relationship with the local, either the Convention and Visitor Bureau, the Sports Commission, or some other entity there. Some cities don't have kind of the formality of that, but some entity that wants to drive tourism through these types of events. And we love those kind of relationships. And so we are thinking about leaning more into that if we are to want to expand and grow, which we don't yet know if that's in our horizon, but we are going to explore it through this organization. So that's kind of our big new thing we're doing. And so
that's cool.
We'll kind of see what happens with that.
Yeah. You have to look at all the options and see what's good for the company and what's good for growth. So, I mean, that's
what's good for, we see opportunity there are a lot of races in the United States that are run by companies or race directors that are, they're on their way out, right? Like they've kind of gotten to the point where either they're getting burned out or they're aging out, and it's unfortunate. There might be a lot of races that we no longer see across the country in the next 5 years or so, and so we're aware of that, and we're not going anywhere. So we've, where we are currently in our region, we can't add many more races without saturating the market, unless we get into different types of events. And so we have to start looking outside of our region. And that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah.
Well, and the good news, you have a quality product. I mean, you've already proven that. You outside sources have already said that. Like you've got, literature that are saying, look, this is a quality product. So you come in with a reputation, you come in with the numbers. What I like is you come in with the North Star too. So the fact that you were able to pop out like, hey, it's safety and it's fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's a skill set that you can, if someone is working on your behalf in another state, they know their North Star. Make sure to make it as safe as possible and as fun as possible. So having the infrastructure, it's brilliant actually.
Yeah.
So go for it.
So for some of these races or race directors that are doing it, not every race director does this full time, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of the smaller events and things like that where they do this part time, and it's very labor intensive to keep them on, especially trying to go after and get volunteers, right? I think that's one of the things that you guys have stood out with, because this is a full-time gig. This is what you guys do. So it's your focus, and it's easier for you guys to, have a pulse on it and not just be a small organizer of an event that you're doing part-time. That just takes a lot. I can see the burnout on that side of it. Couple race directors for other events that I've talked to, I was like really surprised. I'm like, what do you do? Like, do you do this for a living? And they're like, oh, no. I work for company XYZ over here. I do that. I'm like, really? Like, how do you find the time? Like every weekend you're getting ready and doing this stuff. And like, it's a labor of love at that point. And I just go, wow, that's a lot. Right?
There's not many organizations like Magic Sports that are like a full service, full-time event production company putting on triathlons. There's maybe, I'm going to say just 10 across the country that are kind of like us. The rest are, people that do this on the side. And they do it well, but it's not like their full-time gig, and they don't have multiple events across this territory. So it's always funny to me when like somebody's like, now tell me what you do again. And I'll tell them, and they're like, and you can do that full-time?
It actually is a full-time job.
Like, you can.
You don't put on
you can
an
make
event.
money doing it.
You're putting on,
so
what is it, 14 events? Is that your total? Is that your total calendar?
We have 12 that we own.
Okay.
We own and produce 12 of our own events, and then we help manage probably another 5 or so a year. So it's,
it's a full-time job.
Yeah. It's definitely full-time, because you realize that people can hire your company out to manage events for them.
And actually that leads, and that we're welcome to talk about this or not, but I don't know how much you all know, but we do have a new service line, or a new kind of sister organization under Magic Sports called Magic Fit, which is Magic Fit is we've taken our expertise in kind of event production, and we have now started servicing the conventions that come to Nashville with fitness and wellness activations.
Nice.
So if they want yoga or massage or group fitness or pickleball or running tours or anything you can think of, we provide those services to the conventions that are coming to Nashville, which are
a lot.
Huge.
Yeah. Big
and so
numbers,
that's taken a lot of my personal time, is growing that piece of the business, which is that's probably kind of the future growth opportunity for our organization is through that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm focusing a lot of my efforts on that piece of the business right now.
That's awesome. That's definitely big growth. And I'm sure there's a lot of demand for pickleball right now. It's insane.
Kenny can tell you.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, with Nashville being more and more the destination where people want to go, because you see a lot more conventions coming because of just the vibe of Nashville. Oh, Nashville. When you tell people you're from, where do you live? Oh, I live outside of Nashville. They either tell you the last time they've been to Nashville or the next time they're going to it.
Yeah.
So having companies do that, and the world's trying to get healthier. So the good news is that's a great marriage for you to be able to swim in. So
yeah.
There's not many people that do what we do in that space. Or if they do something like that, they're siloed into yoga or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we've become kind of the one-stop shop for all things fitness and wellness for them. So they know if their client or the convention wants to have some sort of activity, we're the go-to now. So it's fun.
Oh, awesome.
And to your point, the HR person's probably trying to figure out, or whoever's doing this for the company is trying to figure out something new and exciting. It's sort of like we do the same thing all the time. And,
What's different? Like, hey, what's different for the conference?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, that's
and it
cool.
all started from a running tour. We've been doing running tours for the past 10 years in Nashville, leading tourists and conventions on runs around Nashville. And that's just kind of like grown into just hearing from those clients. Like a lot of them are like, well, we don't want a run tour. We actually wanted chair massages. And that sort of led us to,
we could
let's
do that.
figure out how to start doing that.
If there's a need, you fill the need. That's
exactly.
That's how you grow the business on that side of it. So that's awesome. And that's great to hear too, because that means more healthy business for you guys. That's really good stuff. So the other piece of those that we can talk about is growing the triathlon community. Is something that's near and dear to my heart. I know it's near and dear to your heart. So we all decided to partner up to make Team Magic again. So you created Team Magic. Team Magic was the business, became Magic Sports. And then last year you brought Team Magic back, right, as a VIP program. So tell us what that looked like when you were thinking about bringing that back.
Yeah, so Team Magic is the original brand of our company. Before we rebranded to Magic Sports in January 2022, maybe it was 2020, I forget, 2022 or 2023, we rebranded the company to Magic Sports. And Team Magic, the brand, was kind of dead at that point. But I always knew that at some point, I would like to resurrect that brand as a true team, right? Back to its original roots.
Yeah.
So just for a little bit of history lesson, the company was founded by a local triathlete in Birmingham, Alabama, who started a local triathlon shop in Birmingham, which for those of you who are unaware, Birmingham is called the Magic City. That's their nickname, hence the name Team Magic.
Yeah.
And so she created a triathlon shop in Birmingham, and a lot of her clients were females. This is the 80s. And so there wasn't a lot of like female racers. There wasn't a lot of racing in general, but a lot of the females came together and they created their own little racing team. Where they would go and they would participate in local races under the brand Team Magic. And then they were like, well, we want more racing opportunities. So let's create our own races and just go set up an event, race the event, and then we'll just break the event down after we race it. So and then they started doing that, and it slowly grew, and it kind of went from this little kind of like pop-up event thing that these women were producing into more of like a full-scale event production company, and became a little bit more sophisticated, and it grew from there. So that's the history of the name Team Magic. And so it's really cool, that history of it. And so I've always thought, let's, at some point when it makes sense, could we bring that back? And so then last year we were celebrating our 40th anniversary as a company. I was like, that's perfect timing to kind of bring back kind of the retro feel of the company, even though it's only been gone like 2 years, bringing it back under this new form, which what it is now, I wasn't quite ready for that last year.
Yeah.
So last year when we brought it out, I didn't want to like bite off too much. So we decided, let's create it as it wasn't even a VIP program. We had nothing last year. It was pretty much just, let's sell some swag. So we created tri-kits and running singlets and different things like that. And let's sell the retro look of Team Magic at our races. And so one of our partners helped us kind of come up with that. And so we created some fun around that. And then at the end of the year, when we launched our registrations for this year's races, we unveiled a VIP program, which was kind of taking the Team Magic thing to the next level, which was, if you sign up for Team Magic, you're now getting VIP access at all of our races. So there's a lot of incentives that we had built in with that. That we were excited about, kind of seeing what was going to happen with that. Again, not wanting to bite off more than we could chew. Let's just do kind of a VIP program. And as we unveiled that, we got a number of signups for it, and it's always going great.
Yeah.
But then I approached Tom because I realized that there's much more that we could be doing with this that I don't want to like wait too much longer on. And I don't think I could do it all alone. So Tom and I have talked for years about Nashville and our region and the sport and the triathlon community, about creating more community in our sport. So it's not so much of an individual sport, but creating this community. And Magic Sports is we feel like we're in a very unique prime position to help facilitate community building, where we're not just a race company in our minds. We should be in the business of full service everything for the athlete. So we decided to ramp it up and take that VIP program and turn it into this full scale life cycle for an athlete. So that membership now still includes everything that they were getting from the VIP side of things, which was significant discounts on any race you want to do with us. All of our triathlons, you got, prime bike rack positioning. You got early access in the water for the swim if you wanted to start earlier than everybody. You got VIP check-in. Like your experience was elevated.
Totally.
So now, same model, same price, everything. We've decided to expand upon that, and now bring Tom into the fold, where we're now partnering with TriTom, where he and I are going to be working very closely together on becoming kind of the customer service tool for them, where they're now going to have a community with each other. We're going to build that out. There's going to be lots of different kind of layers of what this is going to look like, but group chat features, private message boards. At some point, we'll get into group training opportunities with one another. There'll be early, before each of our races, Tom and I will work with them on some things to know about each of the races that not anybody will have access to. So some behind the scenes tools, training opportunities, like Tom's a coach. And so there will obviously be opportunities for private coaching, but he's also going to, just as part of the membership, help with kind of general coaching advice and tips and techniques. So a lot of different things that we're going to be kind of rolling out with the Team Magic program, where we're now going to take this massive audience that we have with our races, most of which are unaffiliated in any capacity with any sort of club or other community. They're just there as a individual racing. And it's probably 80% of our racers are unaffiliated. So that's a significant number.
That's a big number.
And we don't want that leaky bucket effect of like, okay, you come and do a race and then now what? And we might not ever see them again. So we're hoping that this will help seal that leaky bucket, give them a home, a community of sorts, where we now become all things to them for the sport. They come to us for the race, maybe initially, they join this community, they now have friends, they do the training, they can elevate into custom coaching. obviously Tom has bike fitting, like every component of outside of retail, which Tom even sells things now. We're hoping to be kind of a one-stop shop for all things in their triathlon journey through the Team Magic membership program. And so we're excited about seeing where this goes, and how it grows over the next couple of years. And we're excited to have Tom on board with it. So
I'm totally excited to get on board. Enough times that we've talked over the years where I've just lamented about how we keep people in the sport. Like, how do they get started and go through? I've coached enough and bike fitting enough one and dones, as I call them. Like, they're just planting a flag. They're going to do a big long course race. They're going to destroy themselves just to check the box and walk away from it. Or they do one triathlon and then they disappear out of the sport. And I've just I think just probably just sick of me just going like, how do we keep them around? How do we keep them around? Like, I love the sport so much. I'm very passionate about the fact that I've made this a lifestyle over almost 25 years, maybe 25 years. I have to go back and look. But it's been a very long time that I got in on it. And I do a lot of long course racing, but I also do a lot of short course racing. And I think when you look at the numbers, less than 10% of my races are long course. Everything to me is about short course. I think that's where the lifestyle is. That's where the fun is, because you can do multiple races. You meet a bigger community that way. It's less about you, and more about the community and the group. You get to, if you do multiple races, you run against the same people. You're competing in the same age group with people. And it's been fun to meet some other people. And then, over the course of the year, when, until the next race shows up that you're doing, that you get to, kind of joke around with them and tease them a little bit and trash talk some. And, I'm going to get you next year and we'll come back and, kind of throw that in there. We've built more friends that way, racing all of this. So I think short courses is where it's at. And this is the main focus. I mean, that's the main focus of Magic Sports. That's the races you put on. And I think this is going to be a huge opportunity to give that elevated level. Like, you're already giving great service. Your newbie program for first timers is like, nobody was doing that. You really set the bar high. I know you guys have talked about that at the Endurance Exchange with the other race directors and showcased what you're doing is bringing new people into the sport, giving them the backgrounds that they need, the help that they need. They can get an extra, a special color swim cap if they're uncomfortable in the water, so that from the safety aspect, your kayakers can keep an eye on them. You've got Janet and Megan doing a fantastic job just walking them through how to set up a transition area, giving them all the details and things that overwhelm a new triathlete, kind of bring them into this. So this is the next level of that, right? I hope to have course talks. We'll be able to put together, little tidbits and things to look at for the course. And we'll grow it as we go for sure, as much as we can and bring on this. I'm really excited about it. I think the more I think about it, the more I talk about it. You can tell I'm just kind of we got to pace ourselves. We definitely got to pace myself on this and make sure we know.
It is it's overwhelming, right?
It is. There's so much we can do. There's so much we can do and deliver on this. But the idea is quality, right? Which I'm always about, quality first. And we're going to add little bits and pieces. So anyone that gets into it now is going to be in there, and I think they're going to see some good stuff. We got a Slack channel started, invites going out soon. That will have everybody in there so we can start disseminating information. And we're seeing the signups. It's getting positive reviews, so that's exciting. That's definitely exciting.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, you could just see it through, we were in Northern California, and the Fleet Feet Run team was a very tight group. And it became a tight group because it's, you see it on, game shows where if you give everybody the same color shirt, suddenly they have that camaraderie, right? It's sort of that, hey, you're with me on that. And by having just putting on that same jersey, being part of that club, being part of that, you now feel a sense of not only I'm part of something, but I saw this in other kind of areas where then you also start helping those other folks because, if they have an issue, it's like, hey, let me help you out because you're on my team, right? And and you see that sort of growth occur, and people cheer for each other and wait at the finish line for other people to come across the line that are part of that team magic. I think it's going to be, hugely successful, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We've
I hope
had
so.
yeah. We've had the conversations about
Yeah.
how overwhelming triathlon can be, and we had Sarah Malam on to talk about like the issues of triathlon looking like an elitist sport, and kind of having some of these issues of what people perceive it as. And there's a whole host of things that tie into that. It's a great episode. Check it out. It's in our library there. But it's like this. I think this will help, like get people over that and just come back, do another race, volunteer for a race, just be part of the community in a way that I think a lot of people have talked about. Like volunteering for a race is one of the biggest ways they get fun and give back.
Yeah.
And it's just as much fun with a little less stress. You get the excitement, you get the energy of the race weekend, the race morning, and everyone going there, but you don't have to worry about racing yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You get out there and you help somebody else create that, create that dream for themselves. So it's pretty cool that way.
Yeah.
I want to make shirts. This says short course is not a crime.
Yeah.
Like
there you go. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like this is, I truly believe like there's so many people that that view the long course racing, whether that's Ironman or whatever, as like the be all end all, and it's just not true. And we have the masses really just want to race. Like let me even bring it a step further. Like I think we talked about this a couple years ago on the last one. Like we believe that triathlon should not gobble up someone's identity, right? Like it should be a part of one's
Getting
identity,
tattoos,
but not become the identity.
Not become the identity. Exactly.
Those guys.
That's the biggest challenge. Yeah. Yep.
And so, we understand like it's an expensive sport. It is what it is.
It can be.
It's a time consuming sport. And unless you just have that kind of lifestyle and you can kind of devote your life to it, fair. Most people don't. And most people have families and new budding careers and things that take time. And our belief is that's awesome. If we can find one little wedge of your life that we could be that one little wedge, and you can kind of come and go as your life allows you to, but keep coming back to us.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking for. We don't want you to come once and then lose you.
Yeah.
And so this is one piece of that big puzzle of us to keep all these athletes, to help show them that this is a great lifestyle sport, not a lifestyle, lifelong sport, hopefully, and not something that overwhelms you, outprices you, and burns you out. We want it to be totally different.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to reframe it that way, not just in how we produce the events and show our events that way, but also now through this team magic piece.
Yeah.
And so this is just kind of like another piece of that puzzle that we're pretty excited about. And Nashville and the markets that we're in, especially Nashville, is huge. Huge in terms of the growth that we've experienced, the demographic we have here, but we haven't yet seen it translate into more racers from Nashville. And so that's got to change. And so, we see that demographic of the 20 to 30 somethings that love the camaraderie of fitness and athletics and things like that. And triathlon shouldn't be any different. And we want to kind of fill that gap for them so that they want to come be a part of what we do, because we're still very much a 40 to 60-year-old sport. And we'd like to get more of a youth kind of surge in here.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And I think people realizing that, like I reframe everyone that comes into my shop and says, well, I just did a sprint. And I'm like, well, you didn't just do a sprint, or just a sprint. It was just kind of like, you did a sprint, you did a triathlon. Yeah. You're still a triathlete regardless of the distance of the sport. And so many people that aren't involved in the sport whatsoever still think that this one particular branded race is a triathlon and that's the only thing it is. Like that's one distance and that's all triathlon is. It's like, no, there's a lot of distances. In fact, the shorter distances have been around longer. It was a few years before I'm avoiding the branding name of it just on principle, to say that long course it's a brand, right? That came around later. So short course was actually around before. And that's
short course is hard too.
And
let's not pretend that it's easy.
Yeah. You can make it difficult. As hard as you want or as easy as you want, but it's challenging. There's different levels, and sprint and Olympic distance themselves are two different animals. There's some people that, they push themselves on the Olympic, but they're more of a sprint person, right? And that's great. Yep. You're still the same level of triathlete. You're still in the community. It's still part of it. It could be a little part of your personality, but it doesn't have to be the whole thing.
And that's what I tell people. Look, what do you be doing this summer? Are you going to do an Ironman? I can say it, but I have the tattoo. It's like, well, actually, no, because I want to go fast. I don't want to go far.
Yeah,
right. And it's a different. To your point, it's just I'm working a fast twitch set of muscles because I want to go fast. I don't want to go far, and that's a different type of training regime. Doesn't require 11 months and half of your life and 20 hours a week, but it's still. You're shelled at the end of it because you're doing my voice is cracking. You're shelled.
You're getting very emotional.
Puberty. I just hope it.
Just hit puberty finally.
Yeah, finally. But it's just you're just as satisfied when you get a PR there than you are when on a long distance one.
And then you get to go
home and have lunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what's great.
With your family right there. Right. And
I think the other thing that, in all seriousness, what Tom and I have been doing on multiple shows is even I talk to people today and I'm talking to, I work at a club. So I talk to a lot of people and they're like, well, I just have a mountain bike or I don't know how to have a tri bike. It's like, dude, you're doing a sprint. It's your first time. You can do this with most of the stuff you have already.
Yeah.
It's not this, I got to go buy, a high-end tri bike and I need an $800 wetsuit. We've been talking multiple shows about this. It's just get people in and go have fun. Like just give it a try. It doesn't require months and months of training. Just get your swim done. I mean, you can dog paddle at 400.
It's such a hard thing, right? Like we all have a story probably of how we started and what we looked like in our equipment. Yeah. And we all think very fondly back to that.
Yeah.
And I wish, but inevitably you're there and you see everybody else and kind of what they have and you get a little envious of what they have. And that kind of leads you down the trajectory of wanting what they have. I wish that we could get away from that and just be like, have more, like, I want more diversity in the sport in bikes, right? I want mountain bikes out there. Like there were in Chattanooga a couple years ago, a guy came up at Packet Pickup and he was like, hey, I came from out of town to race. I didn't want to like drag my bike around. So the bike shop doesn't really have anything for me to rent. So would it be okay if I get one of these city bikes that like you put a quarter in and like it pops out?
I love it.
But I don't want to like when I'm running and I have to like rack it in transition, I don't want to pay for it sitting in transition. So would it be okay like if I just rack it back in the city bike rack and I can get my money? And I was like, absolutely. So like more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
And he had a great race on like a city bike.
Yeah. I mean, you could make a non-tri bike triathlon. Like you cannot.
Awesome. I think we need to make a rule: if you come in and start in the sport, you are not allowed to buy a triathlon bike.
Yeah,
it's just illegal, right? You can't.
I think
need to go
hilarious.
3 or 4 years before I get people that come in.
Yeah.
They've got a bike. They're getting fit, right? I'm getting them fit, and they're just like all my friends or everyone they met is telling them, "Oh, you need to spend this on this. You need to buy this. You need to get a special bike. You need to do this." And I'm looking at them like, "No, you don't."
No.
And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "No, the bike you've got here, this road bike that you bought off of, or borrowed from a friend or whatever that we're getting setting you up on, it's perfectly fine." They're like, "Really?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." And you don't need to buy anything else. You're fine. Flat pedals, go for it. Right? Rock it.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Absolutely.
You'll have a faster transition than everybody else, and you'll be so much happier for it. So I mean, I think we need to make a rule. Anybody that comes in that's new to the sport, like it is such a different bike. It doesn't handle the same way. You don't ride it the same. It's just totally different. Get yourself a road bike. Get yourself a mountain bike. Get a commuter. Get a whatever.
Commuters are fantastic.
Just ride a bike. Just have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Like get out there and do it.
there's some good commuter bikes out there that are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I had a basket on the back of my first bike that I did a triathlon in.
Nice. I like that.
So
all your
my father-in-law gave me a bike. I didn't have a bike.
Yeah.
So I used his old bike.
You just got to get from A to B. It's 16 miles or 13 miles, whatever it is. It's not that long.
Yeah, 12. Some of them 12, 15,
whatever the distance
depending
is.
on the distance. So you can
just pedal real fast.
That's good.
I was going to see if I could find a photo. It's not great for podcast purposes, but there's a guy.
We have a YouTube channel, so if they're listening, if they're watching on the YouTube channel, they will see our beautiful faces.
There's a guy here. I found it. This was in Chattanooga, and this was the bike that he was riding.
That
outstanding.
Yeah,
it's a fold-up bike.
Fold-up bike. Yeah, I have a friend of mine who takes foldable bikes through Europe. It works great.
Fantastic.
And he had a great time. I'm sure he didn't have a great time.
So I think we hear here first. Joe's going to make a triathlon.
There you go.
A no tri-bike triathlon.
A no tri-bike triathlon. Yeah.
You can have like a circle and a cross. No tri-bikes. You have to show up with something other than a tri-bike.
Something other than that. And not some
turn into an outrageous
20-year-old tri-bike that you're trying to make work, or we're trying to fit you on with the rusted bolts that don't come off, so we can't make any maneuvers, and we just go like, just suck it up, you'll be fine.
Well, and the funny part about it is, I mean, if I used my gravel bike over my tri-bike, I'd probably be like 3 minutes slower. That's about it. And it's a gravel bike. I mean, it's fine. You just pedal real fast. Just pedal real fast.
With the bike handling skills of a lot of these people, it's like you'd be fine either way.
Exactly.
It's a wash. You'll be good either way.
There's a guy that raced with us. You might know him. I'm not going to use his name today because I don't know if he wants me to talk about him. But he's in his, I'm going to guess he's upper 60s. I probably shouldn't even say that because they'll know who he is when I'm saying this.
He's 20.
But awesome dude. He races a lot. And he reached out last year because he was like, hey, I've been racing for, I forget what he said. Like, I've also been racing for 40 years. It's your 40th anniversary. Like, I want to go back to my roots, and I've still got my original tri-bike that he had from 40 years ago or something. I don't even know if they had tri-bikes back then, but whatever he had. And he said, I'm going to race like I raced in 1985 or whatever it was. And so he brought out this big ass tri-bike that was really heavy. He wore a Speedo because he's like, this is what you wore.
There you go.
Oh, the 80s were great.
In full Speedo, this bike, and he looked awesome.
Yeah.
And he had a great time.
Helmet looks like an igloo cooler, Yeah. Very aero.
Strapped in.
Very aero.
Well, Quintana Roo was the first triathlon specific bike designed by Dan Emfield. So he created, designed, and built the very first triathlon specific bike, and that was in the late 80s.
When was that? Was that 80s?
It was late 80s. I think he sold the company in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. I have to look up the details on that again. My bit of history has gone away, but Dan was an amazing mentor in the sport. He's where I learned bike fitting from. So he's big on that. So we learned a lot of the history. So
can I tell a story about Tom? Would that be all right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we're talking about cool people that race. And
not Tom. Not this Tom then. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different Tom.
Tom had one cool experience.
Just one.
But this is what I love about the sport. And there's all types of athletes, and everybody has a story, which I love being in my position because I hear about a lot of people's stories, and that's just, it fills me. Yeah. But Tom was racing with us a couple years ago at the beach. And Tom was behind a pretty bad wreck that occurred on the bike course with somebody.
Yeah.
And to avoid the carnage that occurred, he got in a wreck himself. Like he punctured his tire.
Yeah, took a piece of glass, the front tire.
And, went down.
Yeah.
And so he was roughly, you weren't even maybe like halfway through.
A little over halfway.
Yeah. His bike is ruined.
I was 7 miles in.
He's beaten, bloodied. And he's like, well, I mean, this isn't an excuse. And so he just picked his bike up in his bike shoes and ran 6 more miles in bike shoes with his bike. He ran like an 8-minute mile, maybe even faster than that. I forget.
8:50.
8:50. He ran all the way back with the bike. He's bloodied, still in his bike shoes.
Yeah.
He ran sub 9 and then finishes the race. He like puts his bike in transition and goes out for the run.
I was so happy to put my running shoes on.
Oh, I would not doubt it.
I still have holes in the back of my heels from the
probably blisters.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
We don't recommend doing that. That's not a story you want to emulate, just so you know. So.
Well, it was either stand around for 3 hours so Wendy could come get me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I just remember we have people on the course, like our crew is out on the course.
I think that was the best part.
We've got radios, and so you're constantly hearing chatter about what's going on the course. And our bike guy was like, "Hey, we got this guy out here, and should I pick him up? Like he's running with his bike down the road, and he's a long way away." And I was like, "What's his number?" And they gave me his number. I was like, nope.
He's got it.
Don't pick him up.
That'll just make him mad.
He's good.
I think there were a lot of flats because we had rain the night before, the day before. So I was like, if the crew can catch me, come up. Because I had done a silly thing. It was like when I rushed out to come down, I forgot to put my bag on the bike for my spares. So I didn't have a spare tube or anything. So I was like, well, I'm just not going to stand there. I'm just going to keep moving forward. That's my whole mantra. And so like, if they catch up to me, then we can fix the tire and go on. If they were running out of tubes, they had a bunch of flats. And
that's funny.
And by the time, like the look on the young girl's face, who was a volunteer at the turnaround point. So for the Olympic distance, when I come running up, she's looking at me. She doesn't know where to point me to go. Like she's absolutely bewildered, and you've got a cop standing there directing traffic, doing stuff, and he runs up, and she's like, this way. I'm like, oh no, I got another loop to do. The cop just guffawed, laughed so hard. Yeah. Like, here I come running in, like, I'm going to go out and run another loop like this. Like, and she was like, oh, okay. And starts pointing in the other direction. I'm like, no, I'm kidding. I'm honest. I'm going into transition. I'm like, but it was funny because as I started moving along, people started cheering me on.
You became a legend.
It was like, and then I saw somebody else that had a flat or something like that, and then I see them walking back. I see the dad walking back with his bike on his shoulder, and he sees me going on, and I'm like, what, he quit? I'm like, he goes, yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like, so all of a sudden I couldn't stop at that point. I don't think I was allowed to because I had people riding by cheering me on. I had crowds, cheering me on. And I'm like, oh shoot, now I gotta keep going.
Now I gotta finish this.
I mean, you're also like bleeding profusely. Did you stop? Are you all right?
Like I was, that was just for show. No, I'm just kidding. I don't bounce very well. It was probably good that I kept moving because it was like I was really sore. I just knew to tuck my arms and go down. But that was that was.
It's a good story.
Yeah,
it's a good way to end a podcast. So I'm telling you,
I got a lot of good stories. Yeah, but that one was that was a lot of fun. So anyway, really good stuff, Joe. Thanks for sharing that story and all the good work that you guys are doing. And I'm super excited about our partnership and what Team Magic can do and keeping people in sports. So everyone sign up, join, come do the races, join Team Magic. We'll have some fun. I'll throw a little, support and backstories and history and everything that we need to give you to have you race and get your experience even better than it currently does. So we're super excited about that. So keep up with the comments, thumbs up, stars, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hey, to the subscribe button floating around here someplace. Make sure you subscribe because we're getting better about putting these out. Our schedules get a little crazy, and we appreciate you guys when there's a little bit of a gap. We get the next episode out, but if you subscribe, you'll get the little ding, and it'll let you know that we're here and we've got the next one up. So please do that. Joe, Kenny, fantastic. Really appreciate you guys. And for everybody, we'll catch you on the next one.